Hi, my name is Jennifer, and today I'm going to demonstrate how to do this simple iris folded tag. I have all my tools ready already. I've used my Sizzix die cut primitive hearts to cut out my tag, and rather than using the dies that most scrappers normally like to use, I'm actually going to use the negative space that was left over. I'm going to start by attaching a piece of cardstock that I've put some double-sided tape to cover the smaller heart that I'm not going to fold at this time. I'm then going to work on the back side of the tag, and I'm going to attach it over the top of my pattern. And I'm going to center that and just attach it on one side. The reason I do that is so that I can double check my work as I go. Now if you look at this pattern, there are 3 colors. And so I will be using 3 different pattern papers today. The first thing that I've done with my papers is I've trimmed them to approximately 1 inch wide. And I'm going to go ahead and fold those over about 1/3. I don't want to fold them completely in half because it might make it too bulky to have that much paper, but about 1/3 seems to be right. And I'm going to make a really good crease using a bone folder. And this paper isn't folding quite as well for the length that I have, so I'm going to just trim some off. And if I need some more, I'm going to go ahead and fold some more later. So again, getting a really nice crease, so that when I fold, that crease will be what shows. I'm going to cut this one a little bit shorter for my fold as well. I do find that it's easier to fold shorter papers and get a nice, smooth, crisp line that stays straight. The next thing I want to do is take a little bit of each of these colors and attach it to my pattern so that I remember which colors are going to be used for which of the letters. On the pattern guide it lists that there is a color A, B, and C. And I want to use these colors in the same order every time, because as I do so, my iris fold pattern will start to spiral. The next thing I'm going to do is start to lay my papers down. Now for my first letter I have chosen this beautiful paper with hearts and roses, and I'm going to lay it along my pattern and see how large of a strip that I need. So I really don't need a very long strip, and I'm going to go ahead and just eyeball that and go ahead and trim that down. I'm going to line it up as close as I can along the lines of the pattern to make sure that my corners and my spirals turn out really nice and clean. And I'm going to go ahead and tape that down using just a small amount of single-sided tape. My next color, my color B, is my red. So again, I'm going to lay that down and measure how long of a strip I need. And again, you don't have to be exact on this. You just eyeball it and just give yourself a little bit of play on both sides, so that you don't have to worry about your paper being too short or too long and hanging over the edge of your paper. I'm now going to use my third paper, my pink. And on this one, I don't want it to hang over the edge of my paper, and so I'm going to trim that at an angle, just to give myself some room, because when I'm all done I'm going to tape this with double-sided tape onto a piece of white cardstock to cover all of the tape up. Okay, so I've done my first 3 folds, and if I look here, fold number 4 is again going to go back to color A. So I'm going to again use my white paper with hearts and flowers. Again, eyeballing how long of a strip I need, and lining that up as close as I can along those lines. 5B is going to be my color B, the red color again. And 6C is going to be color C, the pink. So as you can see, we're going to rotate through each of these colors every 3 folds. If you notice, I'm putting the folds towards the center as well as the unfolded portion facing back, because we want to have the really crisp folds in the center and then all of the color showing. Going on to 7A, I'm choosing color A again, my white color. Eight is going to be B. I'm going to go ahead and use my red. Nine will be color C. Color A, my white with roses. 11 is color B, my red. And all of my patterns, I always list not only the numbers, but the color, because it makes it easier than having to flip your paper over constantly to look to see which color corresponds to that number. And on my last one, B, I need to fold just a little bit more pink. And again, I fold it approximately 1/3 of the way over and get a really crisp fold using a folder. And I'm going to go ahead and tape that one down. Now I'm to my iris, and the irises are generally filled in using a little piece of holographic paper. It just adds a beautiful touch and is my favorite way to finish off iris fold cards. I usually just use the tape that I used to hold it down to hold a little bit of that paper down, and sometimes I even add a little bit of extra tape just to make sure everything is held in place really nice. I do use acid-free tapes because in hopes that somebody might want to hang on to this card after they receive it, I wouldn't want it to damage anything in their scrapbooks. I'm going to go ahead and trim off this little edge right here, and there it is. It's all done. There's my iris folded heart tag. It takes about 5-10 minutes to do, and it's a wonderful tag that you could attach to a bag of goodies or just to share with somebody that you love.